Let's get rid of this ugly fender once and for all. I'm done.
Glenny ride.
Alright guys, so these are the tools you're going to need to install the integrated taillight and the tail tidy. I used a 10mm socket with a ratchet, a Phillips head screwdriver, a couple picks. You could probably get away with using a flathead screwdriver, a 4mm Allen key, a 5mm Allen key, a pair of wire strippers come in handy, a pair of wire cutters. I used a razor blade. I also used some electrical tape, some blue Threadlocker, and some solder and seal wire connectors. On these, I got these off of Amazon. I used the 2 small red ones. They fit perfect. You'll also need your integrated taillight, your TST block off plate to prevent water from going up into the bike, a bracket for your license plate. I got one off of eBay. I'll leave a picture here. These are the parts you're gonna need. Let's get to it. First things first, we need to take off our rear seat. After we have our rear seat off, we need to take off our main seat. That's going to be one 5mm bolt. Let's go ahead and remove some of these Phillips heads. The 2 Phillips heads in the back have washers. Don't forget to take the washers with the bolts. To get this piece a little loose, we're going to also take off this Phillips head down here. We've got another Phillips head down here that we need to get to. Kind of flex this piece out so we can unscrew it. Bang bang. After that, we've got a 4mm bolt here that we're going to be taking off. This side piece is just velcroed to the tank. Using a pick, we've got 2 little push pins on the side here. We're just going to pull these out. I'm also going to remove these 2 Phillips heads on the inside and our 1 Phillips head in the back. We're just going to be taking everything apart so we can get better access in here. We've got 2 more Phillips heads down here that we're going to be taking out, so this piece can separate now. It's got these tabs that lock in. We've got access to our turn signals right here. I can push down on the locking tab for the turn signals, remove them. You're going to want to push up on this tab and pull it out. Looks like we also have a reusable zip tie. Just going to go ahead and back that off so we have room to pull our wires through. And with these being loose, we should be able to take off our fender with the 4 bolts and get it out of there. Up under the bike, we've got 4 10mm bolts. There is Loctite on these, so they are going to be a little tough to get off. The 2 top bolts are kind of hidden up in here, but you will find them. Now that our 10mm bolts are out of the way, we can go ahead and snake the rest of the wires through. Got this old thing off. Turn signals, running light, our tag. We'll definitely need to transfer that over. Let's go ahead and get our integrated taillight installed. We'll probably have to wire that up. Shouldn't be a problem. Next thing, we're gonna have to take out the taillight. We've got a couple Phillips head screws here. This rear fairing has a couple clips on it. Super easy to pull up on. I'm just gonna pull it up enough to get our taillight out. The stock one does have these rubber bushings. I'm gonna go ahead and transfer them over to the integrated one. Now we can go ahead and bend this little plastic piece very carefully back and get our integrated one in there. We'll get our turn signal wires through, and this piece can go ahead and snap back down where it was. Go ahead and screw in our 2 bolts with the rubber bushings. Go ahead and put back on our bracket. put back in our screw that's going to screw down onto the brackets. Hold the taillight nice and firm. Nice. Plug in our brake light, make sure that it works. Okay. The black ones are going to be the ground, so we'll be using the green one. We are checking our turn signal at the same time we're doing with the wiring. That way we can get this straightened away. Now they did give us a ton of extra wire here. I'm not going to need all of it. Between our stock wiring that went back there to the wiring from the turn signal itself, based off of how much I think I'm going to need, I'm going to go ahead and trim some of this wire. If we have any extra, we can tidy it up in the bike. These connectors are awesome. I love them. All you have to do is connect the wires, twist them together, and you melt the solder on the inside, and it creates a perfect bond on the wire. I'm going to go ahead and slide this over one of the wires so that way I can twist them together. Slide this piece back over, make sure that it's lined up. And now all we need to do is grab a heat gun and heat it up. This will be a permanent bond once it cools down. We'll go ahead and get our other wires started. Now I know the green one was the power wire, so I'm going to use the black one on this side. And then just to check and make sure, we'll wrap both of them together. Give it a try. We've got our right one all set up. And there's our left one. Works. We can go ahead and start wiring this up. Melt the solder, make it a one connection. We'll let this cool down. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the other wires that are sticking out. Once everything is tucked up nice and neat, we'll go ahead and use electrical tape on this, get it all wrapped up. And this is just an extra precaution. I don't want any water to get in here. I'm gonna wrap each one of these cables twice. It's a little tedious, but we're gonna get it done. We have deleted our running lights. This connector is no longer usable. I am gonna throw a couple of wraps of electrical tape around it, just to kind of help it to be waterproof. We can go ahead and tuck these wires up in here. We've got our reusable zip tie right here. I could have ran them first, but I wanted to make sure that it worked, so I kind of got a little ahead of myself. With the reusable zip tie, I'm just gonna open it up like so, slide our wires in there, and then close it back up. Make sure it's nice and tight. We have another reusable zip tie here. So we've got our wires all tucked in there. Looking good. Now that we've got our brake light done, I can go ahead and put all this back together and then work on the license plate mount. I can't believe they use Velcro for here. It's freaking crazy. Let's get our Phillips head screw back in on the side here. We also have two more screws up top. Now we have our last Phillips head bolt, which goes right here. And last but not least, we'll go ahead and get in these little clips. These things just separate fairly easy and go back in fairly easy. Now, as you guys can see, there is two holes here that water will spray up into. We need a block off plate to solve that problem. TST makes a block off plate that will cover up them holes and fit perfectly in there. We're going to be utilizing this plate along with a license plate bracket. It's gonna look something like that. Now in the TST kit, they give you washers, nuts, bolts, and you need to cover up the middle bolt. This bolt is going to be a 10 millimeter and 4 millimeter hex, 10 millimeter nut. Make it nice and tight, nice and snug on there. They do provide their own Loctite on the bolt. Their bolts that they've included are also longer than the standard bolts. Make sure that you use the bolts. Me, personally, I don't want these things to fall off. You're only using 2 instead of 4 here. I mean, it is what it is, but I am gonna use some Threadlocker on this. Not a whole lot, just a little bit, just a little dab. Not using the red stuff, just going with the blue. When you tighten these down, you want to make sure you alternate between them. All right, and there is our tail tidy. I mean, look at the difference there, guys. Jeez, this thing's a freaking beast. I only used 1 washer on each one. I don't think it needs more than that. I mean, it goes up in there and sits flush. We'll be reusing the plastic bolts for now until I get something a little bit more permanent with the custom tag that I'm ordering. And that's how she's gonna look. You will get pulled over with this. I've gotten pulled over on my last bike with this. But it does clean up the bike quite a bit, and I think it looks so much better. The plate mounting bracket I ordered off of eBay. I'll leave a link down in the description. The TST block off plate I got from TST Industries. I'll leave their link as well. The integrated taillight I got off of eBay. I'll leave a link for that, and I'll also leave a link to all the tools that I used so you guys can get that list if you plan on doing this. Time it took for me to do this was probably about 1.5 hours. Take your time, do it right, make sure all the bolts go back in, make sure you're not left with any bolts. We've got our big old 5 millimeter bolt, and we've got our rear cowl. Thank you guys for checking out this video. I really appreciate the views, all the support. If you have any questions, leave me some questions. I'll try to answer them as best of my knowledge. I'm no professional. This was super easy. I recommend you guys do this yourself. Don't take it to the dealer. Don't have someone else do it. Learn something from these machines. They will treat you well, and you'll know what to do next time when you buy another bike. But all right, guys, thank you for checking out this video. Happy Monday, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.